Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Yeah.
All
My
right.
man TA had his hand high, waving side to side.
Yes, sir. On the ones and twos.
So listen, man. I don't know what the poll question today was. If you've seen it all on social media, A2D Radio, A2D Live, the poll question we put out there today, I believe, was the Sixers. Who is to blame for the 1-7 record against the Raptors and Celtics combined
Yes,
up until
sir.
this point? And the game that they did win was against.
Oh, we going hot and heavy right to it.
Yeah, I want to get.
We
yo,
going
I
right.
want,
We getting
I
right
want.
in.
I want the.
Before we do that,
Okay,
bro,
go ahead.
Special shout out to all the side pieces out there. Today is
Side pieces?
We had Valentine's Day yesterday.
Yeah, you trying to
the
get yourself
14th.
in trouble.
I'm
Chris.
just saying. I'm recognizing game. I'm just want to say shout out first of all to all the lovely ladies out there that celebrate Valentine's Day with their husbands, whatever, boyfriends, blah blah blah. But this is side piece day. This is
one-
the 15th.
This one you come out.
I don't know if you knew that. I don't know if you knew that, TA. But this is National Side Piece Day.
I've been married and with my girl so long. I don't.
Right. Well, I'm just saying what I know I know there are a couple guys out there that's playing the field, if you will.
Listen, I'm not giving you your side.
You know.
Nope.
And this is National Side Piece Day, so I just want to say shout out to all the side pieces out there.
You are on your own, sir. You are.
What's going on, Jake? How you
your-
making out, man? But
you
go ahead,
are
Pete.
on your own. So listen, man. Let's get right into it. 'Cause
Yes, sir.
my man E. Scott Robb, he had a lot. He had a lot to say in the pre-production when it was me, him, and TA. And TA is on the ones and twos.
Right.
Boss Hog.
What up? I'm here.
Yeah. So I feel like Aaron's about to get this is about to be a 2-on-1 handicap
Hey,
match.
it's all right.
But I think he about. So Aaron, we were sitting here talking and just off subject. We were talking about the show. Then we start talking about Harper, and there may be some breaking news whether it goes our way, it doesn't go our way. There may be some breaking news during the Philly Sports Guy show here on A2D.
Okay.
Which hey. I don't know if it's ever happened before. I'm glad it's going to happen now. If it does happen now, we'll be following it. I know TA's on it. He'll break it to us. I don't know if we have a breaking news sounder or we're just going to have like the Stone Cold Steve Austin broken glass before you come out.
I'm with that.
You know what I mean?
Just a lot of yelling.
Yeah,
A lot of excitement or depression. It's going to
Yeah,
be one of the
pretty
two.
much.
So the Raptors, Celtics have 7 combined wins against the Philadelphia 76ers. We see this new, I'm not going to call it a Fantastic Five. That shit is weak.
Who's saying that?
Some people were saying
No,
that. They're
they
double.
need to stop
National
that.
writers were double. That's people that don't have a touch of the city
no
or the touch
Fantastic
of the real
Five.
fan base, whatever. We don't
Yeah.
say corny shit like that.
No fancy.
I don't know what I'm going to call them. I mean,
Nah.
they just
Let's
the
get some wins first. Let's string against
They
some
had
wins.
2-3 wins.
Let's string against some wins. Let's get to the dance, and then we can start making some nicknames and all that. Then we can get excited. and all
Well,
that.
3-1 since the deal, I think is it.
Right.
I think if you asked anybody 3-1 since the deal, you would say, okay, that's a positive sign.
Right, I like that, TA, but the problem is I want to see what we continue to do on a consistent basis against the teams that really matter. Not the teams that don't matter. The teams that you're supposed to beat, I want you, okay, good. You look good, great. But the teams that matter, the top 4 teams, which we're going to go into, that's what I want to see.
Okay,
Meat and potatoes.
so it was one team that they played Tuesday night, and it was prime time, and it was a good game.
Right?
And I believe, I don't know, I can't speak for Tom, can't speak for TA, but I believe they will not beat the Celtics in any shape, form, or fashion until Ben and Joel look at each other and say, enough is motherfucking enough.
So are you just saying Ben and Joel? That's it. No one else.
You tell me another team.
I'm just asking the question.
You tell me another. I'm talking about players on the
Players? Okay.
players. You
Gotcha.
tell me another team where they play that poorly against consistently every time they play them. They both. Ben used to bitch up on both sides on the floor against the Celtics.
Absolutely.
Defensive side, he's bringing it.
Right.
But when it comes to the offensive side, and Horford gives Embiid problems, and he's 6 inches taller than Horford.
I don't get that, man.
And he's 30 pounds heavier.
I don't get what the issue is.
Horford is just a cagey veteran who he shoots to me. He reminds me of Bill Cartwright, but it's not because he goes up.
I just think this is what happens. This is what's going on.
Go ahead.
right? It's real simple. I came to the conclusion on what they do to Joel to limit him is they allow him and tempt him. You're talking about Valentine's Day. You're talking about next day being side piece day, right? They're tempting him with the side piece of the 3-point shot.
Yes.
They allow him and give it to him. They say, okay, I'm going to give you that because I don't want you to beat me up inside. Right. It's not that Horford owns him inside. It's not even like that. The guy grabbed 18 rebounds on an off night.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not even about that. It's the fact that, okay, we're going to give it to you.
Right.
And when you're that open, you feel like when your player hits caliber, you're going to make it.
I agree with that part. I think at times, and this is what upsets me about Embiid, and I was going to talk about that a little bit as we were talking into the Brett Brown thing, is he gets enamored with that three. It's like he gets fixated. And yes, listen, I know right now you're shooting 30% from the three right now,
right?
Which is decent for a big man, which is very good for a big man. But he gets enamored at times in certain situations where you're like, no, don't shoot it. Oh, he makes it. But times when I don't need him not to shoot the shot, when I need him to let's get a fluid possession and let's move the ball around and then maybe get you down low. That's when he wants to go to three.
Right.
So I agree with that part, and that's part of the thing people don't give Stevens credit for. Stevens actually sees that. Okay, what are some of the attributes of Embiid? What are some of the things that he likes to do on a regular basis? What is the things that he wants to do, but he really shouldn't do all the time, and that's shooting a three all the time from downtown.
Now, see, for me,
at times,
when I look at it, it's like, again, it's that KG veteran, and then no matter what iteration, and this kind of may lead into your point where you're about to go off, Brad Stevens always finds the mismatch when it comes to the Sixers lineup on the offensive side of the floor, and he exposes it. But at the same time, players are in the right position, but at like Embiid itself, that game Tuesday night, looking at that, he had an off night on the offensive side. He really did come through into the fourth quarter. But more importantly, this is what the Sixers are going to need outside of this Embiid and Simmons doing their thing. Tobias Harris I think he shot 4 for 14.
Yeah.
That was a bad game. If Jimmy Butler hits 3 free throws, which I'm tired of this. Now, if that's
yeah, that was big.
If that's your boy last year, doing that, if that's Rocco missing those free throws,
we going all out.
So why are we not doing it now?
Because we're still in love with Jimmy Butler. We're still trying to figure out. We're thinking that Jimmy's the guy, but right now in the system, Jimmy's not the guy.
No, I don't think he's the guy. My honeymoon.
He's not the guy. Yeah, but that's you and that's me.
Right.
Excuse me. But a lot of people feel like, okay, well, when's he gonna turn it on? Maybe he's gonna turn it on now. But in that situation, that's a great point. Those free throws that he actually missed was humongous.
Right.
And those are shots as a former All-Star, former All-NBA team guy,
right?
That I need you to knock down in that type of situation. When you're in a heated battle against a team,
let's face it,
the
though,
Celtics, top 14,
he's the old man on this team.
Yeah,
he is the.
You know what I love at 28. Guys become old men.
You know what
I mean? You're right. You're 100% right. It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny. I think this team has a lot of room to grow.
Yes.
They have one of the easier stretches in the second half.
They do.
And I think that can allow you to get to a 2 or 3 seed.
Right.
I don't think, and I know you're going to get into it, and I'm just going to segue you right into it, is I think Brett Brown is a good coach. I just think that now you have another year where his roster's been overturned again.
Right.
And I think you got to give a guy credit who's going to walk into 50 wins 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
That he's a better coach than sometimes we make out player mistakes to be. In no other sport are players more important than a coach in the NBA.
Yeah.
Tyronn Lue, not a good coach. We've seen it.
Right.
But Kyrie and LeBron help you get there. Steve Kerr, is he a genius? I doubt it.
Right.
The triangle offense was great in L.A. with Phil Jackson, but he went to New York and implemented a triangle, and it was a square. So, I mean, I think more than any other league, it's a players' league. So
I just think just to piggyback off of that, just going right into Brett Brown.
Okay.
Where do we start? I'm not going to say he's not a bad coach. I think he's a decent coach. I think he's a good guy. And I think he's a guy who has, because of his relationship with Ben, he's a player's coach. I give you that. He's a player's coach. I'm not going to say he's a horrible coach. I think he's a decent coach. But my issue with him is this, and this is what I saw in the game. I don't know about you guys, and I saw it down, especially in the last 7 to 8 minutes. He's inept in a lot of ways as far as making adjustments.
How?
And I'm gonna give you two. McConnell, that switch, which was brilliant by Stevens. He saw the mismatch, and I think was it Brown? Brown was on somebody, and then they switched to McConnell. I can't remember the other defender.
Right.
It was I'm talking about a switch,
Mm-hmm.
and they honed. It was like 3 possessions in a row.
So what is?
They honed right into it. Now,
Go ahead.
segue. You're waiting for Ben to come off the bench. You might have to bring back Ben a little bit early, which he did.
Right.
That's part one. Part two is actually 3 parts. Part 2 is Reddick. Reddick is inept on defense. Do we all agree with that? Especially against athletic teams.
It's not a strong suit, no.
Okay, especially against athletic teams. So it's 5 minutes left in the game. They did the same thing. They went to that play where they switched.
Right.
Isolation did a switch.
Right.
Reddick's on, I think, Brown, and there's another defender he was on. I can't remember the other ball handler. Killing us.
Right.
So instead of, you see that happen 2 or 3 possessions down the line they're scoring, you make the switch. You make the adjustment by bringing in Jonathan Simmons, who's 6'5", 6'6". He's decent on defense. He's much better than Reddick. Yeah, he might be a drop-off from what you need on the offense side, but you take that chance.
But
take that chance.
But
that's
if
about
I'm
adjustments.
not mistaken, TA, during the fourth quarter of that game, we saw Reddick going out for defensive possessions.
He did it with 2 minutes left. I watched it. I was like, I said to him, what are you waiting for? Then he finally did it. It was like 2:30-something left. That's when he brought in Jonathan Simmons.
So, all right.
In other words, it was too little too late, if you will.
I don't see it that way because this is my point.
Okay, go ahead.
I agree with you to a point. You got to get Reddick off the floor sometimes.
Okay.
But they're going to suffer on the offense. But maybe you keep a Simmons out there. Maybe you keep an Ennis out there. But what good coaches? So your point to what you're saying.
I'm gonna tell you one other thing.
Your point to what you're saying. I don't fault Brett Brown for that.
Why?
On the defensive side, no. Why can't we find that on the offensive side? Why can't we find the mismatch against Boston on the offensive side? What do you want?
That's a good question. But why isn't he finding that though?
But
that leads to my point also.
But this is also my point. Okay, so we get the switch with Jaylen Brown on T.J. McConnell.
Okay.
I just told you the play I'm talking about.
Okay.
When Gordon Hayward hit the 3 from the corner, Simmons overhelped. It was Marcus Smart on J.J. Redick in the post, who J.J. is actually taller than Marcus Smart.
Yeah, but he's not
So let me finish.
than Smart.
We always sit here and say, you saw what the Lakers did. You saw what LeBron did to Simmons on Sunday night, on Sunday afternoon.
Right.
He was getting to the three-point line, and LeBron was running to the paint. You can live with that shot. All I'm simply saying to you is, I can't live with a Gordon Hayward wide open 3. I can't. You can't lose like that. If Marcus Smart hit a turnaround jumper like his name is fucking Kobe or Jordan, I'm good. Because guess what? He ain't got that in him all the time.
But the issue is, he on Reddick, he's going to be able to score.
We're not talking about scoring. I'm telling you, he was out there by the elbow.
Okay.
That shot, he don't have that shot
so he's
in
by
him.
the elbow. He kicks it back out, and then he repositions himself down lower. And then he's down lower.
But
on Reddick.
By that time, you can switch back with Simmons. I get what you're saying at the same time, but you can't just take Reddick off the floor when the change of possession can happen like that, and then you back on the offensive side. I don't want Jonathan Simmons chucking up a off the curl 3. I can't live with that.
And listen, there's a drop off from Reddick to John Simmons. I understand that, but sometimes against a team like Boston, against how athletic they are, and how Stevens is able to coach those guys up and put the right guys in the right position at the right time, it's a problem. It's a problem. Then also part 3. Okay, I understand. Embiid is your best player. He's your star. I understand that. But as a coach, and this goes back to even last year, in certain moments when it's 2 minutes in the game and we're down by a possession or so, I don't need Embiid shooting threes with 22 seconds on the clock. I need you to be in Embiid's ear saying, "Listen, man, in this situation, this is what we need to do. We need to get some fluidity in the offense." As a coach, he's got to coach his players up to understand.
Did you not see?
The situation.
Do you not see the bullshit that's happening in New Orleans? Who the power lie with in the NBA?
Listen,
who the power lie with?
all I'm saying to you,
Did Dell Demps not just get fired today?
Oh, he's an idiot. He's an idiot.
But why? Because he pissed off AD. So Embiid,
you're thinking if he says that,
listen, I love Embiid to death. He could be maybe the greatest Philly athlete of all time if he stays healthy. I've seen this dude, have a cutter
Ninja.
and just Embiid sometimes gets into a lone wolf mentality.
Okay, so give me a coach. I hear your point.
What coach?
But there's coaches out there that's going to
He yells at them all the time to get in the paint.
He don't listen.
Like,
So you got to get his attention.
His camera room
And
ass
Boston-
don't
Gotta get his
listen.
and Boston, like we talked about, plays into it because they say, okay,
Yeah.
we know you like it.
Okay.
We know you like it, so we're going to give it to you by 10 feet.
Yeah.
You know what I
Good
mean?
point. However, TA, give me a coach he's going to listen to.
But that's not a coach. That's Embiid making the decision not to
okay,
take
but
that.
he's going to listen to somebody.
No
he's going to
stars,
listen to a
though.
coach.
No stars
No
do that.
stars do, I feel like. Not in today's NBA.
Okay,
It's
I can
different.
say that.
It's different. It's like,
Right.
you go out, you play your game.
Yeah.
And players got to make shots. And in the Boston game, as much as some people blame Brett,
Okay.
we didn't make. Look at our field goal percentage compared to what it usually is.
Yeah. Right.
Look at our free throw percentage compared to what it usually is.
Yeah.
All the things that we usually do really well, we didn't. Now, if we want to crown Boston,
Right.
who got booed off the court like a week
Who
before
just
that,
lost to the Lakers.
right? And we want to
And the
crown them
Clippers.
that they're that good.
Right.
I'm not going to go there. I think some of
Right.
it's in our head.
Yes.
But I think if we played 75%, 80% of the basketball we can play,
Yes, we beat them.
we beat them the other night. So
Do you
let's
think-
see how
Do you think it's matchups though? Like that's the question.
No.
The
It
it
question
could be. I mean, it could be.
Is it the matchup?
It's the matchup.
Like sometimes
the-
you just don't match up well against certain
the
teams.
versatility on the defensive side, and until they find out what they're going to do with the perimeter defense, this is why I love the Tobias Harris trade. But somehow, some way, Elton Brand, you had to find a way to get back Patrick Beverly with that trade. You had like that.
Very good point, but they weren't giving them up.
No, but I
Yeah.
understand that. But
Very
that's
good
what I'm saying. So, like, you can see, it's almost to the point where it's like, I'd rather have Corey Brewer on this team right now than Furcade.
Yeah, it's sad that we couldn't get him back. He's on Sacramento now.
Well,
Yeah.
we're going to get Zaire back.
And that's
Yeah.
that's another.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that. That's another defender.
That's
So
another athletic
I got to
defender.
give Brett, honestly, I don't care how this year goes. I mean, I care how this year goes.
Right.
But I mean, in terms of Brett, like, I don't care how this year goes because I got to give him a full all season with this same group of guys, too.
Right.
Because I think Elton has every intention of having all 5 of these guys on his basketball team next year.
And the thing is, I feel like where they're at right now is kind of, dare I say, it's obviously they don't have LeBron, but how Cleveland started to struggle, and then they started to find their
Started to
way.
get together.
They started to find it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, Cleveland in 2016. Matter of fact, I'll give you better. Miami in 2011, when they won the first chip against OKC, they had
Took them forever.
got embarrassed by Dallas the
Right.
year before. Jason Terry and DeWinsky and them boys.
Right.
So, but it's no coaching what Spoelstra did. It's not matchups. It's those players sitting there saying, we're not going to take this anymore. Jordan had to do and I've told you this before. I've told you this years ago
Okay.
when we started doing this.
Okay.
I said the NBA is the only league where you don't win young.
Very true.
It's so hard to win young. Right. So
Yeah,
that's
I
why the
agree
old
with that.
man is supporting.
Yeah.
So that is why you sit here and you look at it. Yeah, we have all the talent. But Tobias Harris is 26, about to be 26. You feel what I'm saying? And B's 24.
Yeah.
Simmons is
I mean,
23.
The core is definitely young. I'm just listen, and I hope Brett does his thing. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to bash the man. I want to do well, but I'm just telling you what
I
I
just
see
think
as
it's big.
far as his ineptitude in certain games, and it's just not. It's against certain level competition where
Right.
the adjustments aren't fluid like it should be.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the thing is, and yes, he's still. If you want to say he's still coaching on the roll too, or coaching on the fly too, because
Right.
he hasn't been in a lot of playoff experience, playoff games, like as far as a head coach, except last year.
Right.
So he's coaching on the fly too, sort of like Dougie P was, and we gave Dougie P hell, but then Dougie P turned it on that second year. So I'm waiting for him going forward to turn it on. But my thing is against the teams like the Torontos of the world, the Milwaukee's of the world, where Budenholzer knows how to use his guys, put them in the correct position, and Coach Nurse over in Toronto's putting his guys in position, adding Gasol. Is Brett going to be able to put those guys in the right position? And yes, you're right. It's going to take guys to say, okay, you know what, we need to come together and play together and step it up as far as Ben and Ben and B leading the charge. But I just need some consistency on every single level, and it starts with the coaching level.
So before we move, the ineptitude that you're saying about Brown, right? If the players don't execute, his ineptitude gets even more enhanced. It becomes more relevant and gets more put out there. So even if he could draw the play up right and they don't execute, you can't just bypass the player's execution.
No. I agree with you. And
But you say you make it sound like.
And let me say this.
Okay.
I agree with and even Mike even said Mike was the cornerback.
This calling Chrome.
Yeah, Chrome, because I want to tear my brother's name up. So I mean, he was saying the Sixers were shooting shots short all night.
Right.
I don't know if it was fatigue or what, but they didn't have their legs under them against Boston. So I agree with that. They were off. They had a bad game.
Right.
But I think as a whole, coaching, everything, we were just off. Now, fast forward, we're getting a break right now. We're going to All-Star break. Guys are going to regroup. Guys are going to come together eventually. And maybe it could be a situation like we have a favorable schedule.
Right.
We got some teams that come in. I think it's
Right.
Miami, Pelicans. So there's some games that we definitely should win.
Right.
So maybe with this stretch coming in, building the chemistry together, we should be fine. But we'll see.
So it is All-Star weekend. It's a big weekend. The Thoughts is going to be out in Charlotte.
Okay, I like the segue. I got that.
So you got Rising Star Challenge tonight.
You watching that?
You got. I'm recording it.
Okay.
Celebrity All-Star game tonight as well. Also, you got Saturday night, which is probably
I love that, man.
Out of all, they brought it back. It
bro.
was some down years, like the early 2000s,
Yeah.
mid 2000s. It was kind of down, but now with so much talent, it's back.
Yeah. And who was in it this year? The dunk contest is
you got
Dennis Smith,
John Collins.
Ben's been in, right? Is Ben in it?
Nah, that was
that was a rumor.
Yeah, it was a rumor.
Okay.
So you got John Collins. I think you got
Dennis Smith.
Then you got the boy from
Who's
Charlotte, the hometown boy. The boy from
Bridges.
Michigan, Miles Bridges.
Yo, that might be a sleeper, bro.
Yeah.
That might be a sleeper.
And then obviously in the 3-point contest you got both Curry brothers. So I think Curry's going to win. I don't know if it's Steph or
Who else is in there?
or Steph. You got Nowitzki, you got Clay. It's loaded. Now what they should do is just as an honorary, just to get him around.
Yeah.
Bring Del Curry out and let him just don't count for nothing.
Oh, they're going to have him. He usually does the I know the 1 year.
That 3-ball thing?
Yeah, the 3-ball thing.
I don't know if they're still doing it. I know they're doing the skills competition.
Yeah, the skills
But I
competition.
don't know if they're doing the 3-ball thing with the WNBA players anymore.
Yeah. Remember they had it a couple years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think then it's Team Giannis versus Team LeBron. They had to trade.
How you feel about that?
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Because it's the playoff. They not shying away from the tampering. And now
No, I'm talking about as far as just the whole how they have
The
set it
draft?
up. Yeah, the draft. You know what I mean?
I like
instead of
it
having
how
East against West.
Right. Like last year they
Yeah.
didn't have it on TV. Now this year they had the draft on TV with the captains. I want to get to a point where the NHL did this and they actually got something right. Where they did the same thing with the draft, but all the players were there. So you got to see the reactions and the interaction. Because I would have loved to see in that setting, Embiid's on Giannis's team.
Right.
Okay? He drafts Simmons. LeBron drafts Russell Westbrook. So it's Embiid and
that trade, yeah.
And then he makes the trade. I would have loved to see the reaction of Embiid and Westbrook.
Yeah.
In that moment.
Yeah.
I want to see them on the court at the same time.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, I like the whole idea. I mean, it kind of reminds you of that fantasy draft, of course, what everybody's doing, but also reminds you of back in the day when you at the the high top or
Right.
black top, and you were picking the players, and you picked the best players first,
Right.
and then you went down the line.
Right.
Now, what was you pick, Pete? Was you the last player? Or was you the first player?
Fuck, no, excuse me. This boy can shoot. I was Curry kicking with the pop before Curry
You
was
was Curry before the pop, but I love it though, man. I love All-Star Weekend.
Right.
So many. I think the NBA All-Star is the best All-Star out of all the events, out of all the different.
Because they make it a
NFL
whole
and
weekend.
MLB.
Now the
Yeah.
NFL can do that, but they need the NFL right now. If they did a skills competition, hardest hit, and they measure it, something like that.
Yeah, but that'd be hard. But they ain't gonna do that. Especially,
Now, they could do-
especially with everything going on, especially with the Kaepernick thing.
Now,
You know,
no.
suit.
I'm
I'm talking about the settlement with that suit and all that other
No,
stuff.
no,
you know what I mean?
but no, I'm talking about.
Hitting.
But the hardest hit when we talk about they can measure it because they do it in hockey. Hockey they do the fastest slap shot.
Now, when you say the hardest hit, you saying they're hitting something?
Yes.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Like your
I thought you were talking about hitting each other. I'm like, they ain't
No.
gonna do that. Yeah,
Like
okay.
your defensive players, they just hit a dummy and they measure it.
Right.
And the pounds of pressure. They could do the same thing with the hardest throw. Things of that nature. Highlight. The NBA does a great job at highlighting their stars.
I can see that.
The most marketable players, and the NFL doesn't do that. See, this is a fine example of what they do. The NBA markets players. The NFL markets teams.
Yeah, they're the best. NBA's best at marketing the actual players, action attributes of that player, getting that brand out there. That's why they excel over. And the NFL's right after that. But you said, you said, the NFL does market the team. But I just think that would be neat for them to do that if the NFL did do that. I think the NFL, I mean, I know they're bigger than everything, but they need to figure out how to get more interest on that actual, the actual event as far as the Pro Bowl.
Right.
Get that interest. I don't know if you do a week, if you do something similar to what the NBA does, and get that interest going.
See,
you know what I mean?
We had it last week. The Alliance American Football. We seen dudes.
How'd you like that, by the way?
It was all right.
Okay.
The helmet on whoever the dude was in the brown or yellow popped off like a damn top.
He got chipped up.
No flag.
None.
It's amazing. It's amazing how we as viewers sit here and we say, well, okay, we see people like Jack Lambert.
Jack Lambert, yeah.
You said can't move. We seen it with Junior Seau have his CTE condition. They made a movie about it.
Right.
But yet we still want that violence. We want to see that gladiator. This is Sparta. This is Russell Crowe.
Because
you
that's
what I'm saying?
the essence of football to us. I mean, especially
I just think it's entertainment.
Yeah, that too. But if you grew up, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say people that grew up in the era like we grew up in, watching football, watching the players, watching the Singletaries of the world, watching Lawrence Taylors, the Atwaters. Those guys brought the wood. The Ronnie Lotts of the world. Those guys brought the wood. That was the essence of football. Hard-hitting, grueling, tough football. And I know they had to scale back because of the CTE, which, trust me, I understand.
Right.
But I think with the AAF, why it's going to be so good and so successful is because they're going to bring some of that essence of that back. Now, the NFL is pushing them. The NFL kind of is pushing them in a way, correct?
No, they're kind of pushing them, and then you got the XFL coming next year. The thing why, and I think all three can exist because of the fact that how many times we sit here and say, man, I just wish I had some football.
Yeah.
And now you're never going to be without it. You're never going to be without football. You're gonna have something.
Are they saying it? Because I keep hearing that they're trying to say it's like a minor league to the NFL.
That's
Are
how the coaches are pushing it to the players. Like, hey, go out here and give us your all because this could be an opportunity where you can get caught into
but
the
the
big leagues.
NFL's not pushing it like that.
No,
okay.
No, the
NFL's not bad.
There's no system set up like where this is where they can just call up a player. No,
it would be dope. It would be dope if the NFL say, you know what, we're going to adopt this league. We're going to make it our minor leagues. And then the players that do well have outside or a second chance of an actual tryout.
Right.
Because with the NFL, they have regional camps, they have regional workouts
right.
for guys that are like in between.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So let's just get these AFL guys in there as well and throw them in there in the mix. So it would be neat.
I can even see in a situation where the AAF or even the XFL can say, look, these guys, whoever it is, Ocho Cinco, T.O., Get them out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get them out there.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the player, but get them out there marketed. Because even now, I would have said until today with the Cap situation, get Cap out there. AAF looked at Cap. So that brings me to Kaepernick, and you talked about the settlement with Eric Reed. Eric Reed, who's just signed a 3-year extension with $22 million for the Panthers. I think it was last week.
Yeah.
Him and Kaepernick settled their grievances for an undisclosed amount. It was sealed by confidentiality agreement. And all I want to say is this: I will never get into another man's pocket. I will never dip into another man's wallet. What you got in your wallet, that's your wallet, that's your money.
That's your business.
But at the same time, hats off to you. You owe it because you could have been playing and earning a living. But I don't want to hear no more bullshit where they come at my player number 27. Don't come at 27 when you sitting here. You see what I'm saying? Oh, Michael Jenkins sold out. Okay, if you really bout that, right? You get that grievance and you get that settlement. Why are you closing it? Why are you sealing it?
Well, listen, I'm gonna say this. What Deion say? What's the song say? Must be the money.
Yeah,
it's some money. I mean, we don't know what's gonna be, but I'm gonna say this to you. It's gonna be enough money for Kaepernick to give to his kids. How about that?
Right.
It's gonna be enough money. But I see your point. Right. Your point is they need to back off, which I think
not back off.
He's a money genius.
Who's it?
Yeah.
Can I tell you why?
Kaepernick?
Yeah, because it all started. Listen, and I got in trouble with Facebook for this, and
You
hopefully
did?
I don't get in trouble again for saying this. But I try to keep things real.
No,
right, and I got no agenda behind it. My agenda is Chip Kelly was considered a racist.
Yeah.
Okay? You owed $20 million that last year. There ain't no way now a racist can cut you when you start kneeling or doing any type of protest.
Right.
There's no way.
Yeah.
If he cuts you, he'll never get a job anywhere coaching.
Right.
Forget the college ranks.
Right.
He's some offensive coordinator in some low level college down south somewhere where nobody cares about shit. right? So from that day on, to me, I said he knows how to make sure he gets his money.
I mean,
and right now is another example. Did the NFL collude in some ways? Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
absolutely.
Okay? Because that's the reason they just settled. Because when you
Absolutely.
settle for
Yeah.
something, you obviously it's something wrong.
Listen.
You're guilty of something.
It's some type of admitted guilt.
And every
It
big
is.
business is guilty of that kind of
Yeah.
nonsense. But
Right.
but the point is now he made himself even more money, and it all started back then, and nobody really thought about
Right.
that.
Right.
And listen, he won't work in the NFL again. We already know this.
Right.
But he don't have to work in the NFL.
Nah.
And kudos to what you said. You said he's going to be an ambassador. He's going to be a guy that goes around speaking to different, whether it be groups, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Going around speaking. He's going to make enough money doing that. Plus, he's got the money for the NFL. So he's good. He's at the point
But
where
I'm just-
he started the movement, did what he did, and that's it.
Don't let me have sour grapes, but when you come at my boy and Eric Reed want to fight Michael Jenkins, when Michael Jenkins try to go out with his hand, that's the same fuck shit that separates us already as it is.
I agree with that, but I mean, it is what it is. Some
All right.
people are just built like
So
that.
moving
man.
on,
You know what I
moving
mean?
on, moving on.
It is what it is.
Moving on. We still don't have a Foles jersey up here somewhere, but we got a Wentz jersey, which really matters. So
We'll get one, right, T.A.?
We have it. It's put on layaway.
So
Like it's been put away, not layaway. It's just been put away.
So Ben says, "What's up, BT?"
Yeah.
And I'm calling it here again. I still think Cap will end up as a member of the league, which is possible.
Right.
Like some consultant type of role. That's very interesting.
he can go play now. The money he got, he can go play for the AFF.
He won't play another down again. I'm going to
in
say
any
that.
football, in any
He
league.
will not play a down again. He doesn't have to.
Man, Vince McMahon can come at that
Listen,
man and play.
nah.
I'm gonna make you the
He won't
highest
do it.
paid-
AFF tried to contact him.
Nah, listen, AFF. I don't know who behind that. They ain't got no money like Vince.
I understand that.
They
That
ain't got
money,
no money like
money
Vince.
is long, like a mile long line.
And guess who
Long rap.
guess who his boy is? So it's gonna make it happen.
Ebersol.
Nah, Ebersol and who
Ebersol's
else?
his boy. Who's the other boy?
Agent Orange. Him and Agent Orange like this.
45.
Him and Agent Orange, Mr. National
Orange
Emergency.
the new press,
Mr.
yeah.
National Emergency, so I can build this damn wall. But moving on, man.
Oh man.
There was a trade that happened between John Elway, who can't choose a quarterback, and the Baltimore Ravens for a 4th-round pick to send a player.
Oh, to segue off of that real quick.
Go ahead.
BT says Vince hates Cap. They know that. Vince hates Cap.
But what does Vince like more than Cap?
Ratings,
And money.
notoriety, and money.
And I don't give a shit.
Vince is a narcissist. So
I don't care what.
anytime you deal with narcissists, sometimes narcissists will do the
Right.
thing that you think they wouldn't do.
Right, and
So
and when you the XFL, and you
Yeah.
want to start up, and you need publicity. There you go.
Yeah.
Somebody, either it's negative or positive. Somebody gonna be talking.
Vince-
Somebody gonna be
Vince-
talking about you.
You know what the funny thing about this
Yeah.
whole situation is?
Mm-hmm.
As much as we talk about him being smart with money, all these other things,
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't that good of a quarterback. So if anything,
Yeah,
he made a
to
ton
some
more
degree, yeah.
money for just being. Yeah, was he a good athlete? Yeah, but he wasn't
Yeah.
a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I think we give him a lot more credit than he deserves. Like that defense was loaded,
defense was loaded.
loaded. And Harbaugh, we know, can't coach a quarterback. We see it at the
Yeah.
college level.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
from at the end of the day, he was just like an athlete who could make plays on the run.
He struck when the iron was hot.
they
Yeah.
use him correctly.
Yeah, they
Good
used him
attributes,
correctly.
right.
They had a great running game in Frank Gore at the
Yes, he
time
did.
Yep.
that we
David
that we
Andrews.
don't really talk about.
Pat
So if
Williams.
anything, he made a ton of money just from being an average guy.
And then we had Patrick Willis.
But
Justin.
But here's the thing, TA. I don't mean cut you short, TA. The quarterbacks, other than the top tier guys, the quarterbacks in the
Right.
league are so bad.
but no, hold on.
Oh, listen,
that's-
he would have
that's-
got it. He would have
that's
got a
what the
second
issue
chance
is.
that this would have ended like back
Yeah.
if he wasn't out of the league for so long.
But let me tell you this.
I think
though.
that's now that's
what's
affecting
the-
his chance.
And I
What's the
think that's
biggest
what it
reason
is.
why
I think
Nathan
that's what it
Peterman
is.
and these guys have a job?
Say it again.
Biggest reason why Nathan Peterman and guys like that.
Because there's a lot of bums.
But why is there bums in the league?
You tell me, why is there so many bums?
Because-
there's a lot of bums out there. And
I'm
frauds.
gonna be honest with you.
Go ahead.
It's a good situation the Eagles had the last 2 years, right? A lot of fucking teams don't want to deal with that shit because they want
The
their-
media circus.
No, not
the media circus? What you
but the
talking about?
fan base as well, because they want the backup quarterback to be so bad that the guy that's the diva that's the starting quarterback
Mm-hmm.
don't have to worry about that dude taking a job. And if you bring Cap in as a backup quarterback in any facility,
Okay.
that guy who's somewhat
That's
accomplished,
that pressure.
It's the pressure.
It's the pressure. It's the pressure. So I agree with that part. It's
Right.
the pressure of the guy looking over their shoulder. Sort of, kind of what Wentz had to do last couple of years. Yeah, they're buddy.
good.
Yeah, they're buddy, but
Right.
after a while, you're like, all right, dang, this guy just won a Super Bowl. I have to look over my shoulder all year. I need to get back quicker.
Yeah.
I need to even I'm hurting. My knee's not the greatest.
Right.
I'm gonna get back quick because he's
Right.
over my shoulder.
So I'm
You know what I mean?
I'm so glad you brought that up. Because
I mean, that's what I do. That's what I do, bro.
So Flacco gets traded to Denver, and if
Okay.
we look at it, look at the numbers, look at the long-standing resume.
Right.
We as Eagles fans, and we said this on last week's show. I said it 2 years ago, last year when it happened. Don't let Foles walk for nothing. Sell high on your asset. We talked about putting Zach Ertz on the market, somebody who's beloved, who just broke the single-season reception record for tight ends. So, people, listen, this is what's going to happen. There's a very real possibility, that if other teams choose to make a decision other than Nick Foles, that he comes back here with his tail between his legs.
No.
Now, I would he
No.
may no, but I'll tell you this, it won't. That's a very, 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 very slim chance of happening. But let me explain.
Okay.
So going into this, we knew that the trade partners or people that were interested in Nick Foles
Okay.
were Denver, Jacksonville, Washington, possibly New York. That's it. 4 teams.
Got you.
4 or 5. Denver chooses Flacco over Foles simply because some will tell it as he played more under center. But look at they're almost the same player. They got hot.
Some degree, yeah.
They got hot at the right time. Took their not carried the team. Flacco's defense.
They elevated their team. Go
Right,
ahead.
elevated the team to a Super Bowl. Now Flacco's shown he's more durable than Foles. Foles hasn't shown you that. So from an Eagles perspective, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, Howie Roseman got to be kicking himself in the ass because now he's like, do I need to take a $25 million risk to get a 4th-round pick back? Because Flacco trade set the market. You're not going to
agree with
get
that part.
anything better than what they got for Flacco.
Let him
Yeah.
walk.
Thank you, T.A.
Because
I
you're
was
going to
gonna say
get that third conditional
Yep.
from whoever he
Depend-
signs the following
Fine
year.
story.
But
Yep.
depends on where he goes, and it depends on how many free agents the Eagles sign.
So BT says,
Well, I'll take my chances that way.
Me too.
Instead of and to your point, instead of hurting my cap space right now when I want to be able to do other things and
Yes.
tie my hands, I'd
Right.
rather just say, okay, I'll let you walk.
yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, I think he's going. I mean, either way, and I hear what you're saying, Pete, but you're at the point of return where Wentz has to be the man. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. He can't look over his shoulder anymore. It's just time to turn the page. Now, BT's saying that he's not going to Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville is the best landing spot.
Well, no,
and
I
think,
don't
and
mean it
I
like that.
think right now it's going to happen.
And I always got
Honestly.
CTA,
No, he said
by the way.
Ben says no chance he's going to Jax.
I know that, but I'm saying I think it is. I think it's going to happen.
No, I think no chance. Like he's not. I think he's saying it like he's going to Jacksonville.
Okay.
Like he's going to end up.
Yeah,
in
I agree.
Jacksonville.
So then I agree with Ben. I mean,
And
he's
I
going
always
to
got
Jacksonville.
CTE issues.
Yeah,
Yo,
let's
what's-
keep
Because
it.
he just keeps circling average
Yo, what is
quarterbacks.
going on with him and these quarterbacks, man? Like,
How come quarterback guys can't get quarterbacks? Harbaugh, Michigan can't get a quarterback. Elway, Denver can't get a quarterback.
It goes back to what I said about the backup.
Yeah.
They don't care. They can't. They've always been so self-controlled, so into themselves. They never paid attention.
They can't
to,
see the talent.
Why does it make the backup quarterbacks like Peterson so good?
And the backup catchers. You know what I mean? In Major League Baseball, the backup catchers,
And catchers
get them
in general.
shots.
Mike
Yep.
Minson.
the Keenan signing, when he signed him, I'm like, okay, yeah, he had a good year with
He's got-
Minnesota.
and
but
he got
that was
little
more-
hands,
That
too.
was
He
a
got-
system. And he got baby hands.
And that's a dome, too.
He's got baby
Yeah,
hands.
he got baby hands.
So when they signed him, I'm like, okay, yeah, he had a great year in Minnesota because of Sherman, because of the system.
Right.
Keenan's a system guy. Let's keep it real. He's a system guy. And I'm like, fast forward, him going over to Denver with the DT, who's not
Right.
what he was.
You know where I'm about to go?
You know what I'm saying? Emmanuel Sanders is not what he was.
So-
you put him in that system with a running game. We didn't know what Lindsey was going to be.
We've been hearing.
Yeah.
We've been hearing
Right?
for a while. Foles and the Giants. You just said the key name. You said Shermer. If
Yeah.
I'm Shermer and the Giants, and I want to move on from Eli, and I can do it on the cheap, I'm not getting Nick Foles. I'm gonna trade for Case Keenum. You see what I'm saying? Because he
because he knows him.
he
He's
knows
familiar
him.
with
He was in the same system.
Yeah.
And dare I say, he had he gonna have a better running back
Had a hell of a year.
and better weapons. You see what I'm saying?
He's a system guy.
See, and that's
And he's a system guy.
Yeah.
and that's where you can still draft Haskins.
Well, what about here? I thought you were going to go here. What about Case Keenum as a backup here? Let's go a little further.
What's his cap hit? What's his cap hit?
I don't know. You know,
I know he
Well,
signed
I
the deal
mean,
was 2 years,
honestly-
36.
yeah, but he's out
Yeah,
of
they
that deal
get out
now.
of that. They get out of that. But
They're going to cut him.
I think they're all in on Sudfeld. I think they're all in on Sudfeld.
No, bet this.
They don't
I
have
just
Sudfeld,
heard it
bro.
coming in. I just heard it coming
Go
in.
ahead.
Sudfeld's a restricted free agent.
Okay.
He has interest. He has interest around the league.
Yes, he does.
The reason why they brought him up to the 53-man
That's more
roster
picks.
in 2016 is because of the fact that Indy wanted to put him on a 53-man roster.
Very
And
true,
they
yes.
elevated for the practice squad. So this kid's been sitting. He's a restricted free agent. So the Eagles must offer him a second-round tender, which is around $3 million. If it's anything less than that, he could take his chance in free agency, and someone will sign him. This is my biggest thing.
Dude, he gets $3 million for just.
So with that
for
being said,
clipboarding.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Go ahead.
If Teddy Bridgewater doesn't sign with a team, do you
No,
bring Teddy Bridgewater?
because
if he doesn't strike hot, if
Right.
the iron doesn't strike hot for him, if you can get him for cheap, you sign Teddy
Yes.
Bridgewater.
you would.
I'm interested.
So what?
Absolutely.
So in that spot, because my thing is, what the fuck is Sudfeld here for then?
They
Why
love
do
him.
we waste this
They're
roster?
enamored, bro. They're
Why
enamored
why
with
do we waste this? Why do we waste this roster spot for the last 2 years?
They
And we're never going to ever use
they
this kid.
They love his attributes. They think he has potential. I mean, listen, he's got the attributes. I mean, he's got some legs. He's got a decent arm. You know what I mean? He's accurate. He's got it. He's got his attributes.
So if you
know what I mean?
if you can sign Bridgewater for like $4 or $5 million, because it's not a lot of teams out there that need quarterbacks, and they're willing to move on for quarterbacks.
There's about 6 or 7.
And then you got, like I said, you look at Nick.
actually
You
5
look
now,
at Nick.
right?
Nick Foles is going to be the one that costs you the most.
Miami.
He's going to be one that's going to demand the most money. So these teams are trying to do things on the cheap, where they're trying to get younger and cheaper, and do things on the value. That's why I said Keenum. Listen, $6-7 million. I think his cap is $7 million. That's what he's due. Like his signing bonus was huge. And then you got Bridgewater. You know, and then you got Foles.
So Mike says absolutely sign Bridgewater. Ben says, well, Keenum is going to clear waivers, so he'll be looking for a prove-it deal. That is very true. But the scenario of what Pete said, just to segue back what Pete said, that scenario of him linking up with Shermer makes so much sense.
It makes a lot of
sense. If they move on
sense.
from Eli. Now, that's the question. Are they going to move on from Eli?
Because this is my thing. This
You know
is
what
my
I mean?
thing.
I hope they don't.
Me either. Me either.
Me too.
Because this is the thing. If I'm Dave Gettleman and I'm Shermer, and I'm looking at, okay, well, we want to move on from Eli, but we want to draft a young quarterback. Okay. So you got Foles and you got Keenum. Okay. Keenum's going to cost you less. Foles will cost you more. But this is the second step to that. When you look at it like, damn, the young quarterback, I'd rather bring in Keenum because he may be able to slip, and nobody's going to sit here and say, nobody's going to argue if we start starting a young kid over Keenum.
Yeah, but guess what?
But if you start starting Foles, who's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, but what does the NFL want? Right? Part of it, what's the NFL want, too? The
That's
NFL
true,
would
'cause
love.
that trumps everything.
Yeah, the NFL would love Foles Wentz twice a year.
Oh, yeah.
NFL would eat that up.
And I said it on last week's
Yeah.
show. I said it to the family last week's show. I said, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to the Eagles don't want Foles in the East. They don't want him in the division. If you don't want him in the division, anything, like, why are you choosing him? If you're choosing Wentz over him, why do you care? Your team is going. Your team
They
is.
just don't want to see. They don't. I mean, I
don't
think it's. Me personally, it is what it is. I think we're good.
Yes.
But to them, they don't want to see him.
Yeah.
Now Mike says, switching off to it because I'm kind of enamored by what he said. Wouldn't shock me if the Giants move up.
Don't speak on my son like that.
It wouldn't shock me if NYG moves up and gets Kyler Murray. Now the question is to you guys, and I'm gonna answer first. Do we really think Kyler Murray is going to be something in the NFL?
Yo,
Because I'm gonna keep it real with you,
Right.
and I'm jumping out the window.
You about to get smacked.
I don't care. People might say, "Yeah, well, look at what Baker Mayfield did." Blah blah blah.
Right.
I think he's gonna be a bust, guys.
No.
I mean, I just honestly, and I could be wrong, and I've been wrong before. I mean, but I have that eye test.
We can self-scout.
and I'm hoping he does his thing because I want
Right.
the young man to be successful. But me personally, he's got to get in the right system. If he's not in the right system,
Listen,
I think he's gonna be a bust.
I think in this room right now, you got 2 Kyler Murray fathers right now.
You're a follower of Kyler Murray?
A father of him?
No, are you a
Like
follower?
he's another one
Are
of
you
my
a follower
sons?
of it? Do you like him? Do you like
Yeah.
him?
Listen, I mean, in today's NFL, the way it's shaped, like college so much, I think he can have success because he can make
Yes.
plays on the move.
Yes.
I give you that. Right.
So I mean, he's accurate. Is he Baker to me? No.
No.
Right.
It's faster.
Is he somewhere around there? He's done a great job of this year of knowing when to get down and avoid contact. So I think that's something that can help translate that to the next level. Yeah, I believe he can play. If he went to the Giants, I'd be more fearful of that than I am if Nick Foles goes to the Giants.
Yeah.
Makes sense over a 2-3 year stretch.
Right.
I'm more fearful because I think their ceiling's higher now
Yeah.
because we don't know how good he
And
can
their
be.
future is brighter.
Yeah.
And their future is brighter.
Because they got playmakers, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, if you can get
Yeah.
them the ball,
That's a problem.
and
Right.
now you can do like RPOs and all that kind of
That
stuff
is true.
with a guy
That
who
is
can
true.
move at the quarterback position with Saquon. Shit, I want no parts of you.
Yeah.
No, none. And that's
Good point.
I don't think he gets there. I don't think they get the chance because I truly believe.
You think Arizona's enamored with him?
Yes.
They're smart. They are.
Kingsbury already said he likes him.
Yeah, he did say
He already said he likes
But
him.
Kingsbury's already playing chess because he already came out and said Rose's our QB.
He's playing his game.
Yeah, he's got to play.
I'm gonna tell you one team.
Gotta say that.
One team that could trade for him because they don't give a shit about picks.
BT?
They want talent. No,
Who's that?
BT gonna hate this.
Who's that?
He gonna hate this.
Who's that?
Man, I can see. I can see.
Are you gonna say the hoodie?
I can see the
You gonna
hoodie
say
get
the
on the
hoodie?
phone and be like, "Listen, you can have. I won
he be
this.
like,
I won this year. I won next year. Send Rosen. That's it.
Well, you would say to send Rosen.
Yeah, I
Talking
think.
about the hoodie.
I think
Getting
New
Rosen.
England. I think New England will offer 2 ones for Josh Rosen, and Arizona would
Brady would
be
go.
stupid not
Brady
to take
would be
it
throwing
because
avocado juice everywhere.
because you have it. You already have Kyler Murray
Right.
at the number 1 pick. Then you're gonna get a 32nd pick this year, and then you have 2 number 1s next year. They'd be stupid not to take that because Belichick, he's proven it. He's proven it time in and time again, time in and time out. He doesn't care about draft picks.
If he finds that value,
J.C. Jackson,
he's taking it.
the cornerback,
See,
J.C. Jackson.
I just don't like Rosen. You know what I mean? Like I love the idea for Arizona.
I think Rosen in that in Bill's system, he'll be fine.
I just think
in the
he's
right
soft.
system.
I just think he's soft. That's my concern.
Brady was soft as shit when he came out. You seen his
Maybe,
combine
yeah,
picture?
you might listen. I can't disagree with either one of you. I can't say like Rosen won't go there and throw 35 a year.
Right.
I mean, he would.
And that's the thing. He
And
doesn't
then
have
he
to play right away.
And then he gets to breathe for 4 years because Brady said he's probably know he's 45.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
You see what
got
I'm saying?
plenty of time.
So you
Yeah.
don't have to do anything. And he's cheap. He's under control.
Yep.
He does not going to cost you a
If
lot.
I'm Arizona, I would have traded him yesterday.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, whoever wants to come knocking, I'm going to take the best 2 first-rounders that come knocking.
Yep.
And I hope somebody comes knocking top 10 at me
And your boy,
where I get 2.
And your boy in Oakland will be somebody that'll do it too. He'll do it.
I don't know,
Rudolph?
man. Because this is the
Rudolph
thing.
may not-
The
they
biggest
do
thing
it.
He's
for
got picks to do it.
The biggest thing for Arizona is
listen.
He does have
Right.
picks to do it.
Yeah.
Arizona, I think that could happen because I think first of all, let's say this:
Mm-hmm.
John Gruden is he put all his chips in. We know that some of the moves he made was crazy, asinine. If we want to say that, but I think at this point that makes sense. But I can see Gruden doing that because at this point they're all in on get.
So what do you do with Derek Carr at that point?
That's what I'm about to say. For whatever reason, they don't like Carr. I don't know why. I like Carr personally.
So
I think he can play, but honestly, Gruden is not. It's been said on so many outlets that
Right.
he doesn't like him.
okay,
For whatever reason.
So my point. This leads you to my point. Going back, I'm circling the wagons back.
Go ahead.
That's another quarterback. If that happens, that's another quarterback.
So that's possibly what 6 quarterbacks down
Right.
on the market. If you
Where
think about it.
Foles market it gets so convoluted. It's getting so crowded.
But at that point,
Imagine-
at that point when it gets like that, Foles got to take a deal somewhere.
Right.
That's what it comes down
But
to.
he's only leaving because he said he wants to be the man. And how mad would you be if you Washington?
Well, he's going to be the man somewhere.
If you Washington and you say, man, I'm gonna sign Nick Foles, then all of a sudden, boom, 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 trade alert, Josh Rosen to the Raiders, Derek Carr be cut, or Derek Carr is not available. You mean to tell me
Another thing. That's another thing. Grudog's brother's at Washington. You know that can happen. I can't help my brother out. Let's trade him to Washington.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So
Let's trade him to
like
Washington.
when you
Let's
start
trade Carr to
looking at it,
Washington.
when you start
To my
looking at
brother.
it, Foles is coming down lower and lower and lower on
That
the
can
ladder.
happen, man.
Lower and lower on the ladder. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now the only quarterback, and I don't want to get too Patriot-centric here,
Okay.
because I think they will take a quarterback sometime. Don't be surprised if they take Daniel Jones out of Duke if he's available in the first. Because
Fits him.
you see what I'm saying?
I can see that.
Pocket passer. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said they really don't care. But for the Eagles' perspective, real quick, because I want to get back to baseball. I want to get back to basketball and then jump into some
Yeah,
baseball.
let me run into some comments after that.
So from the Eagles' perspective, I can give you one DN, one defensive player, one offensive player
That can sign.
that you can sign.
What is it? One defense player. What else?
One defensive player, one offensive player that you can sign.
Give me defensively, give me Clowney.
Okay.
Yep, that's me. I'm with you on
And
that.
offensively, you know what's funny is I was against this name, but I can be sold on it.
Okay.
I can be sold on AB.
Yeah, that's.
I don't like it. I don't like
that's
it.
what I was
I don't
saying.
like it. I think he's got a lot of crumb in him, but I can be sold on him. Like I'm starting to be. I'll read some things and they'll start to be like, maybe I'll take him, and I'll realize things. I'm like, wow, I want no parts of this guy. He's an animal.
He's an
and then I'm like,
animal.
well, he's gonna put up 1,600
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
and 18 touches. I'll take him.
The thing is, and I was saying it to Pete on break before we started, I was saying that, having AP, I said he's doing too much on Twitter. He's doing this and that.
Yeah, he's a mess.
But I wouldn't mind having him, though.
Nah.
I wouldn't mind having him.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, you bring AB in right away. Your offense is so different. Right away, you take the pressure. You take the pressure off of Wentz. Wentz is just basically
Let's go
all
play.
you gotta do is give him a decent running game, give him decent,
I don't even know if you even need that.
And then, you gotta be balanced still. But you have AB. He'll be able to throw the ball to AB on a regular basis. And then on defense, you hit on the nose, Clowney, which I think that's where we're going.
No,
I think they're going.
I don't think he makes. I don't think he makes out of the AFC South. I don't.
Indianapolis.
I just don't think he makes out of.
You're talking Broncos. Brandon Marshall's a good name. You want to fill that middle linebacker spot? A guy just cut casually.
Who's healthy?
Yeah,
not hurt all the time like Hicks.
Yeah, it wasn't a playing thing. It was a money thing for Denver.
Right, and you look at it. Glover Quinn just got released today too, as well. So that could be.
He's a little longer. He's a little longer in the tooth, though.
I take Glover Quinn over Corey Graham as a third safety. You wouldn't?
Oh, I would.
Yeah. I would.
So
I would.
Who's
a lot of people over Corey Graham.
AB? I like AB to fit Jeffrey, but they still need it back, and that's where you can probably a part of me wanted Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, that Kareem Hunt thing really got you. I ain't gonna lie.
You can still go get Mark.
He went and got one with my son now. So, I'm all right. Like, he's with my son. It makes my son look better. So, like, Daddy's happy. He went to the right spot for him. And that just tells you a lot about the kid, right? Dorsey knows him.
Yeah.
Dorsey said, you know what? I feel like I'm building something here locker room-wise that I can bring this in. And guess what? I changed my stance on because I knew somebody was going to take him.
Yeah.
So, you know how I felt when it first happened. Like, bro, you got to grow up. We all felt that way.
Absolutely.
But, like, I knew the dust was going to settle and that somebody was going to take him. So, I was like, why not us?
Yeah.
And we didn't.
Right. So with that being said, and you brought up Ingram. I like Ingram. I like Tevin Coleman. I think Tevin Coleman
a lot.
I feel like he's going to want too much money.
Yeah, because I think he's definitely having a mark. But see, in this
Guys,
draft,
can we just draft one?
You got
For
Snell. You got
For
Snell.
one to, like, nail one? We haven't
Andy
nailed
Snell.
one.
Yeah.
I keep hearing mocks saying Jacobs, the kid from Alabama.
I would love that. I mean,
And you know why? You know why?
I heard 3 mocks.
You know why I said, and I agree with it. Less than 300 touches in college.
and I love that because of the
It's so loaded.
no wear and tear.
No
Like,
wear and
you
tear.
know, had a ton of wear and tear coming out of college.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook may be in the all-time history of wear and tear
Yes,
college
sir.
guys.
Yes, sir.
And he's still good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's a guy who was averaging
So you and with
ton.
with Jacobs, he can pass block.
Right.
He can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he's elusive. He's power. He's kind of a combination of everything. He almost reminds me of a poor man Saquon, and I can take that. And I still like Bryce Love. I would be fine
Pro-
if
and
we.
both
You're
pro
enamored
style
with Bryce Love.
and both pro style offenses.
Yes.
You know, and Bryce Love will probably be a guy from when he got hurt. Will probably be a guy because how young he is would be ready to open up the season.
Yeah.
Right.
Because how young he is.
So real quick, just some of the comments. Dave from LA says Judge dismisses Mark Hunt in a lawsuit on Brock Lesnar and Dana White on ESPN News.
Right.
Ben also says, segueing back our topic we've been talking about, Gruden is waiting until next year's draft to get Tua or whoever's best. He also says the late one year, I could see that for Pats taking Jones, I guess. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Okay, he's saying the late one, yeah. I can see that for Pats taking Jones. And then he also says the problem with AB is it's a rental. He will want a new break. I'm sorry, he will want to break the market deal next year immediately.
He's
but
31.
he makes sense for Philly.
He's 31. I mean, if I'm AB, I would either go to San Fran, maybe Arizona, maybe even I don't know. Like to me personally, I think he can link back up with Le'Veon. There's only one team I think he can do it. And
Indy.
Yep.
Indy.
Yep.
Indy's got the most money.
Indy's got the most money.
Indy's got the most money.
They could trade a pick for him. And look, he's in the AFC, but it still has to be okay. And then they go get Le'Veon.
And they got money. They got money to spare because all their money is only tied up into Hilton and in Luck.
Yep, that's it.
Everyone else is on the rookie deals. The line's on a rookie deal. The stud middle linebackers on the rookie deal. I mean,
Darius
they're
Leonard,
loaded, man.
I'll take Marlon Mack off their hands.
I wanted Marlon Mack coming out of the draft.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted Marlon Mack coming out of the draft. Man. So, all right, for me, this is what I see. Defensively, do I go Clowney? I'd rather probably had DeMarcus Lawrence, I think he's had a little cleanup surgery.
I don't think he's going nowhere, man. I think Dallas.
But you said this is a fictitious world.
Gotcha.
And then offensively, out of the free agents that's available,
they're in trouble. Dallas is in trouble, man.
I personally, I would like bring back Golden Tate. Bring back Golden Tate. Give me Golden Tate a full off season in this offense, and
Aguilar.
Aguilar.
Can't you only have one?
Aguilar's gonna have to. They're gonna have to do something with his cap number. His cap number's too high. His cap number's 9.4.
Well, if you're gonna keep him for the 1 year, you're gonna keep him for 4 more.
Yeah, they're gonna revise the deal and make it friendly to him as well as the organization. They'll figure it out.
Or now, this is TTP Ballin in the YouTube comments. He says, "Do you think we can get Fournette out of Jacksonville on a trade? Send one of the twos or do a sign and trade with Foles."
I mean, everyone was linking that Foles to Fournette deal, but I honestly, whatever happened last year with him and Coughlin, I think they'll iron it out because
I don't see it.
I think they will. Once they get their quarterback, which they're about to get,
right,
and they get the guy that they want to get, and they have to have that good running game for that balance, they'll iron it out. I don't think Fournette's going anywhere. I'll be shocked if it happens. I'll be shocked.
Well, we'll see. But that's me. I mean, I like Clowney a lot too. They definitely need some defensive end help. There's no stud linebacker. I just think we undervalued it. And Hicks, can us real quick, Jordan Hicks. I want to test free agency. Go ahead and test it with your rubber band ankles, man.
He's chipped up all the time.
Yeah. Look, now let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Would you bring back Michael Kendricks?
No, I'll go with Tom TA's thing. Bring in Marshall. Brandon Marshall.
You could bring them both. You could bring up.
Nah, they turn the page. The Eagles. One thing about the Eagles, man, certain players they're gonna turn the page, and they're gonna turn the page on them.
I think Darby's gone.
Darby's gone. Yeah.
I think Darby's gone, so that frees up somebody.
Yeah.
So we'll see, and with Peters, we'll see, and we start getting into draft season. We start falling in love with these names. Nasir Adderley. Safety out of Delaware, rising up the boards.
Yes.
You could also see Jacobs. You see Montez Sweat linked to the Eagles as well. At pick number 25, we're going to have some time.
I like Snell. Have you watched Snell?
I like him, but at the same time, I just think there's better options that fit this particular offense. And I don't think Peters is going anywhere for any time soon. So for this particular offense,
like him.
That's why I like David Singletary, the boy Holyfield, who you talked about, Bryce Love as well.
He's another one.
But nobody fits it better than Jacobs. But the only thing is, I can't see.
You got the needs, man.
I can't. That's what I'm saying. I can't see. I can't see them going running back in the first round, even though it's towards the end of the first round. But maybe they could trade back in and get into the tail end of the first round again.
So shout out to my sister Leslie. Leslie, I do the other show with Soapbox Live.
Yeah.
She says I have no idea what y'all talking about, but love y'all. LOL. She's so crazy.
Love you, Les.
Love you, Les.
So it's halfway through. Well, more than halfway through the NBA season, and I just want to go around the room real quick to get a gauge.
Okay.
Give me your coach of the year so far, and your MVP, and your likely finals matchup.
T, I'm gonna let you go first, T.A.
My coach of the year?
Put my thoughts together right now.
So we'll go around. We'll go around coach of the year first, all together. Then we'll come back around MVP, and then we'll come back around finals.
Coach of the year is a good one.
That's what I do, man.
Yeah, mine is. I'm looking. I just want to remember the name because he's been balling. He's keeping it together over there.
Give me who's the head coach of Milwaukee?
Budenholzer.
Yeah.
Give it to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
right now.
That's a logical pick.
Denver Nuggets, my man. I'm trying to remember his name.
I know
escaping me right now. It's escaping me.
I can't.
I can't remember the man's name, and that's sad. But I can't remember his name. But I mean, putting the talent. He has a lot of talent, but he's putting it all together.
Right.
They all bought in. Jokic is balling right now. I mean, having IT come back, I mean, off the bench, they got some nice pieces, man. Barton was out for the year, out for a while. But the way he's just put everything together and the way they're running that system, they're running everything to a T.
Right.
I would have never imagined them to be the number 2 seed, only 2 games out of the first place from the Warriors.
Okay. So for me, I'm gonna go with Budenholzer. I'm gonna agree with Tay on that. And the reason why is because we seen this team last year in the playoffs. We saw the Bucks. They were running like just athletic kids, didn't know where they were going, like chickens with their head cut off. So now they have a system, 5 out. Giannis has a lot of open lanes to dish, a lot of shooters. So I give it to Budenholzer. Now for MVP, I'll go to you two. I'll go to you first, Aaron.
Whew, MVP.
Mike Malone is the coach of the Nuggets.
Mike Malone, I just looked up.
Thank you, TTB Baller.
Can I get an honorable mention?
L.A. Dave, boy.
Can I-
That man said he said go to Tate to the Rams.
Ah,
I can see
I can see that.
I can see that.
I'm going Embiid. I'm going hometown. I mean, people might say, nah, Embiid, but the way he's balling right now, the way he's just he's transcending what the center should be right now. I mean, great to shoot from the outside, excellent inside. He's a team player. I mean, he does everything. Going to the hole, doing the side step, doing the. I mean, some of the stuff he's doing right now, I can never imagine the center doing the Euro step. This is crazy, and I think with the fact that he's only been playing 8 or 9 years altogether, he's not even in his prime yet. And to see what he's doing right now is magical, man. So I'm going to be right now. I'm going home.
So I'll say TA for last on this one. My MVP this year, and he's gonna be going back to back, and that's James Harden.
That's a logical pick. I was gonna say that, but I'm like, nah.
But see, the reason is because it's the most valuable player.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love Embiid. JoJo's my man. But without him, we still got 4 horses on this team. But without James Harden in Houston, shit is
they could be number 8. They could be out of looking on the outside.
The outside looking in.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and now listen, you've heard Kobe say, you've heard Pippen say, it doesn't seem like he cares about winning. We saw it I think it was Minnesota. He was still chucking up threes with 2 or 3 minutes left. He almost reminds me. The perception is right now he's almost like the AB of the league. At the NBA, because all he cares about is his stats. That's
going to be his downfall, and that's
right. They're not going to win,
and that's the one thing I can
they're
say
not gonna
about.
Win, no.
He's going to be that guy. He's going to go to Hall of Fame.
Right.
He's going to be first ballot, but they're going to say he's that guy that can score. He's a guy that can do this and that. But when it comes to winning,
no,
he disappeared.
No.
But yeah, MVP. I can say I would say Harden, but I just want Embiid this time.
Okay.
TA?
I'm going JoJo.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
That's it. That was it.
There it is.
I'm going JoJo.
I'm going JoJo. I mean, big men win championships. I've been searching Harper stuff this whole time. I was trying to. I seen a Phillies
What they
promotional thing, right?
Yeah.
A Phillies promotional thing that had the arm sleeve
of him.
Not of him, but a Phillies arm sleeve on a giveaway day.
Okay.
Same arm sleeve he likes to wear.
Jesus. It's killing me. Just like I can't. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's right on
This
the
is
cusp.
like the girl that you wanted, and she said, you know what, I might let you take me out, and you're waiting, and you're sitting there, and you're like, yo, is she gonna let me take you out or not? Is she gonna let me take you out or not?
I'll take you one step further. This is like that girl that you've been trying to dig down for a month. And you see her just hit you up like,
you trying to holler,
for all your iPhone users out there, you be like, she hit you up like, hey, what's up?
What's good?
What you doing?
Yeah.
She asks you what you doing.
Right.
Chilling. And she be like, and all you can see is little bubbles. Like, you don't know what she's saying.
Yeah. Yo, that's good.
You don't know what she's saying, but
good.
You know she about to say
and you're
something.
anticipating like, yo, what's she about to say? What's she about to say? What's she about to say?
You be like, you be in there, you be like, should I get dressed? Should I get in the car right now? Or maybe she.
Look, no, matter of fact, you in the car already. You already dressed. This is the girl that you been wanting, man.
Soon as she said, hey.
Come on, man. This is the girl that you been. Listen, the fact that she's talking to you, you already ready. You ready to rock. You in the car waiting for it. And then the fact she's talking to you, that the bubbles is going, you're like, yo, what's up?
Right. So finals matchup. Who wants to start off? Who got the final matchup? Okay.
I got to go. Sixers Warriors.
Oh.
Mic drop.
Go ahead, P. I'm gonna throw it to you because I'm still trying to process my thinking.
Okay. Sixers Thunder.
I hate to say it.
And I'm tired. I am tired of, even on our own show, Embiid got disrespected because he didn't go 3 for 3 for MVP. That's fine. But I'm tired of Embiid getting disrespected for MVP nationally. And Paul George, albeit deserving, who is the best player now in OKC so far up until this point, is getting disrespected as well. So, is that Greg?
Yes, it's Greg.
Come on, Greg.
I know. Come on, Greg. Come on through, buddy.
Greg Millie.
Millie Rock.
Damn. He just came. He just came back from the girl's house.
Yeah, he got the suitcase and everything. He's ready. I see you, bro. I see you. Oh, you did your damage and got out quick, right?
Side piece talk. Yo, put that in the fridge for me.
Yo, you know it's National Side Piece Day, Greg, right?
That's why I'm here.
That's why he walked in.
And Greg got a smile. I don't know about y'all, but Greg got a smile on his face. He happy. But now I'm going. Listen, man. I hate to say it, and I want my Sixers to go far.
You cannot. Okay.
I'm saying it, bro. I'm going Celtics Warriors, man.
I don't see it.
I'm seeing it because I think, and I hate to say it, but I think Kyrie's gonna get hurt,
Right.
and I think
That forces them to play better.
That forces them to play better, and that forces the chemistry to play better, and then that forces them as a team to be different. And I hate to say it because I don't want it to happen. I want my Sixers to be there. I do think my Sixers are going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
But I just think I have the Warriors and I have the Celtics and I have the Warriors, as we saw that story again, winning that 4-part.
Tom, you looked at me.
Turning chapter 4.
What happened?
Well, this guy Devin Carson on Twitter, he did say about 4 hours before the Raul Mute deal that the Phillies had a deal in place for Raul Mute. Okay? He did say about 5 hours ago now, a source, Bryce Harper, just informed the Phillies he accepted their 10-year deal with multiple opt-outs, which would make a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
And then if you just read in the tweet, Players Tribune article will debut tomorrow. Makes a lot more, you know what I mean? Makes sense.
So he's
as Chris Russell suggested, who was the guy that was on WIP earlier.
The guy from the
from 106.7.
in
Yeah,
DC, right?
Yeah, so if you look at some of these little signs, and then Harper, like Aaron said before the show, Joel stuff, Ben stuff, starts to follow them guys.
He's looking for houses.
Looked at Hoskins' thing, Housegate, and then you look at this tweet where, a 10-year deal with multiple opt-outs,
Right.
and a Players Tribune article debut tomorrow. That really makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So we'll see. I mean, it's 9 o'clock, so it's still 6 o'clock West Coast time. I would say, listen, if that's not broken an hour, it's not today.
I just want to have.
Well, the players article. That's the Players Tribune article because didn't KD do the same thing?
Yeah.
LeBron did the same thing.
Yeah, that's how they operate.
That's they big. And listen, just be prepared because it's going to come a point in time where the Eagles going to have a game on Sunday. The Phillies going to have a game on Sunday.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? And then who never know? We never know. We may get to a point where the Phillies be playing October baseball, and then you got a Sixers game, an Eagles game, and a Phillies playoff game all going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And then, listen,
Possibility.
Carter Hart and the Flyers, because it's a hashtag trade Giroux, and I don't know much about hockey, but you need to turn the page, man, because they fall into position right now with the Knicks made a decision. The Knicks made a decision.
Oh, they tanking.
They tanking.
Oh, we tanking.
I'm not saying the Flyers should tank. Don't ever do that.
Right.
But all I know is, and Tom maybe can help me out with this kid's name, the kid that's the projected number one overall pick is from the United States, and he's a freaking problem.
Yeah, but is he a Conor McDavid though? That's
he.
And
I don't know what hockey.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is.
Well, the family out there.
All I heard is this kid
is this guy that Pete's talking about? The guy that they're saying is going to be the number one quote unquote pick, and I know we got some family out there that's hockey buffs.
Right.
They know their stuff. Is he a Conor McDavid? Because if
he's close.
If he's a Conor McDavid, or if he can get in that realm, then I'm tanking.
Well, because your team is young, you got the defensive talent. We need to go from there. We got a new subscriber for the A2D channel, Decepticons. I like it. If it's a play on Decepticons, I'm your man because I'm a big Transformers fan.
Okay, I like that.
And before we get up out of here this week,
yes, sir.
Man, I'm just sitting here thinking what we're going to be doing tomorrow when Bryce Harper signs and he's a Philly.
Oh, you speaking into existence. I like that. You're speaking into existence, Peter. You feeling it?
I mean, baseball-wise, don't get me wrong, Manny Machado probably made more sense for the team as a whole. But just for marketability and for the Phillies as an organization.
He's getting butts in this. I mean, if we sign Harper, the butts is going to be filled every
man.
There's going to be butts because there's been a lot of butts missing.
Now, the one thing
I
will say over Machado, and I love Machado as far as talent.
Right.
Machado sometimes he can have that J roll in him sometimes where he can take a play. Harper doesn't matter. He's always balled out.
He's Philly.
He's
Philly.
Exactly.
He's Philly, bro.
He's almost.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like the Phillies have been waiting for a transition player, a player that's going to be transitioned and a player that's going to actually be able to represent their team and be that leader. And yes. By the way, yes, we did have that in the core. The big piece and all those guys, but they haven't had since then a guy that they can market and say, "This is Philly."
See,
and bringing Harper in is Philly.
I don't really think that right now, being only 10 years removed from the World Series championship, that team, those guys, and now we point out Big Piece Howard, we point out Rollins, we point out Utley, But I'm talking about the Pedro Felices, the
Yeah.
Eric Bruntlets, the Joe Blantons hitting the home run in Game 4.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that was we need that back, and
Yeah.
it's not fair whether it is what it is. Philadelphia fan bases in all sports, we love everything hard.
Right.
We argue. We just don't argue about sports here. We argue about our TV shows.
Yeah.
We argue about our drinks.
Right,
But
about
real
food.
quick, we only throw batteries at guys that don't sign
Exactly.
here.
Right.
That don't sign here. You
Without
understand?
even giving us a chance.
We're not going to throw batteries at our own guys. We're going to throw batteries at guys that don't sign here. We're
Yeah.
classy. We're classy.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know when he says his name, J.D. Drew. But, like, you feel what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you didn't even give us a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
said, no, I don't want to go there.
That's what he said.
So, listen, man. Our YGTG, for those who don't know, you may be joining in the fam now. Listen, it's you got to go. And my you got to go this week is, generally we had two, but you're going to fall right in line with this one.
Okay.
Even everybody can relate to this.
Okay.
If you don't know, I play golf, you know, and golfers, a lot of times, if you get to that level, I always say it's probably the biggest gap of talent between
Okay.
what recreational people do and what people do to get paid for. Get paid for it. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's the biggest gap. There's a player. To me, he looks like the Grinch, and I always thought he was a cool dude.
Okay.
Matt Kuchar. They call him Cooch.
Okay.
Plays in Ryder Cups. Was on a little bit of a losing spout. Hadn't won a tournament in 4 years since 2014. Won the Mayakoba Classic in Mexico last year in November.
Got you.
First place prize
Right.
was $1.3 million.
Woo. Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you know, pretty sure you've seen, there's a caddy in golf, the guy that carries the bag.
right.
So standardly, we
Which
all
then make decent money.
right.
Okay.
General standard rate for the caddy is 10% of his players' winnings if they cash it all. So that would have been $130,000 to the caddy.
Sounds nice, like a nice little payday for me.
Matt Kuchar's caddy, his regular caddy, wasn't available.
Okay. Is it Matt or Mitchell?
Matt.
Okay, Matt. Okay.
So he had to get a sub caddy from the course that it was a caddy that for the course. It was a private course. This caddy's name was El Tucan. I don't even know his real name.
Okay.
His nickname was El Tucan, a very well known caddy.
Okay.
So he was subbing for him.
Got you.
Now, mind you, this caddy ain't won a tournament in 4 years.
Got you.
So him and El Tucan set an agreement up to say, look, $3,000 up front, and then whatever percentage my winnings are,
Which is fair.
which is fair.
Right.
Okay. So Kuchar goes on to win the tournament. $1.3 million.
Goodness gracious.
The standard rate for a caddy, once again, is 10%,
10%.
which is 130.
130. Okay.
So Tucan is sitting here thinking to himself,
I'm about
okay,
to get paid. I'm gonna get my money.
get
I'm
paid.
good.
Now I understand it's not
Yeah.
it's a sub caddy, so does he deserve the 10%? No. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
But
At least come close to it, right?
But to be handed, so Kuchar disrespects this man
Okay.
and gives this man $5,000.
No, he did not. Stop. You're lying, Peter Washington Evans.
Bro, it's been all
Stop
over
it.
the news.
He gave that man $5,000.
And that's it. And this was back in November, right? Back in November, gives him $5,000. Keeps it on a hush, doesn't say anything because it's his word against it's his word. Rumblings start going around. Somebody finds El Tucan and he confirms the story. Now, stories gets out. Kuchar and his people, Mark Steinberg, his agent, come back to him and say, look, we'll offer you another 15. Rightfully, he says no.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
I want 50.
Yeah.
So even at 50,000,
You good? I mean,
That's
'cause you
less
had to
than-
pay the 130.
it's less than
Okay.
half of the 10%. We're not even talking 5%.
And what did he say?
He still ain't got. He still ain't.
So
he
this is-
finally came out with a statement today and said, "This is not who I am." But now there's more stories coming out to where this guy, I'm about to call him a crumb. You feel what I'm saying? Because back in the day, he had a tournament where there's a 16-year-old caddy with him. Was a pro-am. All the other players he playing with go to a little ice cream stand,
Right.
get ice cream for the players and the caddies.
Yeah.
His caddy go over there. Kuchar hands him an ice cream. The dude starts to open it up. Kuchar says, "No, that's not for you. That's for the dude I'm playing with."
So this guy's a prick. Let's just keep it real. He's a prick.
And you never would think it because
he's
you
a
look at him.
prick.
He looks like he's a very nice dude.
I mean, the bottom line is at the end of the day, man, it's all about. And my mom always said to you, when you there's a couple.
Whoa! Breaking news:
Breaking news. Go. We got
Ben Simmons
Okay.
has not only hit one, but 2 3-pointers tonight in the Rising Stars Challenge.
All right, we're moving along.
Honest-
So it's not like, I mean, my thing is, what you do
Right.
comes back to you. She always said
Right.
that And what's the golden rule? Do unto others as they would do unto you.
Right.
Sometimes when you treat people wrong, and when you have a lack of integrity,
Right.
it comes back to bite you. Now it may not be right now. It may be 2 years down the line. Could be
Right.
3, maybe 5 years down the line. But at the end of the day,
Right.
this man, it's going to bite him because the way he
Right.
treated that gentleman, and from what you tell me, Peter, it's just dead wrong.
Right.
You're dead wrong. I mean,
Right.
it's about integrity. If you're supposed to give that man 10%, even if you don't give him 10%, even if you give him 7%, that's fine. But
Right.
you're gonna offer this man $5,000?
A little over more than 1%.
I can't get jiggy with that, man.
Nah.
Come on.
That's
You got
almost
to
like
go.
you going to a restaurant, you sit down with your lady, and you and the waitress or waiter agree on the tip before
Can't
the
get with
bill
that,
come
bro.
out. Don't make no sense.
Can't get with that.
And it makes golfers look arrogant. It makes people who may want to try the sport, don't know too much about it, but always had the idea or the preconception notion that golfers are always arrogant. They see them with that tucked in polo,
Yeah.
nice pants, sports car with the top
like you're
down.
a prick. That's what I mean. Like
Yes.
a lot of golfers come on.
Yes.
Honestly, just me looking on the outside, because I don't really watch golf like that. But
Right.
they come off as being pricks.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got to go. He's just doing too much, man.
Doing too much. I mean, we could have threw Dell Demps in there for the whole way, or the whole New World, and even AD. This all of them combined. Stir their asses all in the pot and
Pretty
throw
much.
them all in there, man.
Pretty much, man.
This dude lead the facility last night after a shoulder contusion. But now I'll get it.
Yeah.
New Orleans said they wanted to sit him, and the league said no, because every time you sit him, we're gonna charge you $100,000. But then this is the thing: you can get something for him, even as
You
it
take
is.
that trade.
Not even a trade. You can still trade him in all season, but every time you put him out there in the
Yeah.
court, he gets nicked up all the time. You don't want to cause a major injury,
Yeah.
and so you can't. So your assets is damaged
Yeah.
now.
I mean, but I mean, look at the way that a guy comes out. In so many words, his representatives say he wants to get traded. He wants to get traded. He tells you that, and then you bring him back. I mean, what are you showing? What are you showing the guys that are there?
Right.
What are you showing the locker room? Just what direction are you going to?
Right.
You got some pieces there, Randall, and some of the other guys that could be players, but bringing a guy back like AD in that situation just isn't. It just isn't. It's a train wreck.
Yeah.
It's a train wreck. to
And
be
you
honest
heard
with
what Albert Gentry said last night. He kind of pulled back the curtain a little bit,
Uh-huh.
and he said, "This is a dumpster fire.
you. It is.
It's a dumpster fire. It's
It
a
is.
bad situation." And I don't know how much onus is on AD and how much onus is on the Pelicans, but at the same time, dude, you signed a re-up contract. Like I don't agree with Eskin on a lot of shit. I don't agree with Howard Eskin on a lot.
Right.
I do agree with him on the fact of when you sign a contract and you're getting paid,
Should honor it.
you should honor it.
I agree.
You know what I mean? There shouldn't be if you felt that bad when you
Shouldn't
signed the
have signed it.
contract, you should have had an opt-out clause. You see what I'm saying? You should have
Yeah.
said after 2 years, if we not to this certain point, have an
I'ma
opt-out.
opt out.
I'm cool with players wanting to do that. Or you do what KD is doing the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You do a 1 year deal with a 2nd year option, mutual option or a player option.
Yep.
That's it because you can
You
always
had that
make
flexibility.
right.
You had that flexibility.
But at the same time, you talking about players who really didn't come from nothing, who have the athletic skill to play a game, and when they get in this $90 million contract,
Right.
they 19, 20 years old.
So fast forward, if you're that organization, you fire Dell Demps, where do you go from there? Now, logically, everyone's saying that everything's pointing to Boston because Boston has all the assets.
But they need a GM now.
besides, yeah, well, they'll get one. They'll get one. David Griffin's out there who will be perfect, I think. I think he's really good
Right.
GM. But I mean, if you're New Orleans, you have to pick up the pieces and you have to pick it up fast because these next 5 months is very, very crucial because yes, you have to trade AD, but you have to make it right. You have to get the right pieces. You still got Randall. You still got the guy Payton, I think is decent. You still got Holiday. What do you do with Holiday?
Right.
So there's so many different questions that they have to answer in the next 5 months. Do you trade? Yes, you have to trade AD, but do you trade Holiday? I mean, what exactly is the direction of the team? That's the question.
See, it's so easy in the NBA to get locked up.
Yeah.
So much money locked up into these bad players. But not bad players, but players that want.
That Solomon Hill deal is horrible. They paying him $12 million.
Right.
Horrible.
But that's what makes the process so good.
gosh.
You see what I'm saying? That's what makes Hinkie.
Timeout.
Go ahead.
And I agree with you. Listen, I think they offered in one of the trades to take on Solomon Hill's deal.
Who the Lakers did?
Yes, and they said no. Not only did they offer those 4 players, but I think on one of those deals they said we'll take on Solomon Hill's deal, which is a bad deal.
Yeah.
And they said no. said no.
Because I think I don't disagree with this New Orleans decision of not to trade him now and trade him in the offseason. Because you got more time for players coming in to get acclimated to the system. I feel bad now for Jason Tatum because now it's kind of out there. Nobody's talking. We are sitting here talking about what the Lakers did. We all here talking about Boston, and Boston is actually a team that's trying to go deep and make a playoff run. You see what I'm saying? So
and then plus the situation with Kyrie.
Yeah,
I mean, with
Kyrie's a
With
Knick.
the Kyrie's situation. But
Kyrie's going to be a Knick next year.
Right now, and I agree with that. But right now, where Kyrie is, you're stunning the growth of your young guys because Kyrie's back. And yes, Kyrie's a hell of a player.
Right.
But he has his issues as well. But I mean, at one point, we had the ceiling was high. We had Tatum, we had Brown doing their thing, we had Rozier, and Rozier's in the contract year.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of decisions they got to make as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just going to be good. I want everybody to enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the Rise and Star Challenge tonight.
Who's winning the dunk contest? Real quick.
It's always better when little guys don't. So I'm going to go with Dennis Smith Jr.
TA? Yeah. Dennis Smith? Yeah, I like that one. I'm going Miles Bridges. I'm going for the sleeper. Hometown guy. I'm going Miles Bridges. And who you got 3-point contest?
A Curry.
A Curry as well. TA?
A Curry.
All right.
Okay. So, man, for Aaron Scott Robbins.
Man, you giving the whole government out, huh?
For PWE.
Dang, TA.
For Magnum TA, El Jefe, Boss Hog, whatever you want to call him, the leader of the NWO, man.
Dang, put the whole
We are
government out
PSG
there.
on A2D. We thank you for rocking with us. Make sure you click, like, share, subscribe. Hey, unsubscribe, subscribe again, rate, review, leave comments, hit us up all throughout the day. Doesn't matter. We'll always get back to you. Make sure you stick tuned. I know Tom got a show coming up tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully by that time the Players Tribune article drop and Bryce Harper's in pinstripes.
Just sign, man. Just get it over. Let's just sign. Make us happy.
Put us out of misery.
Yeah.
But everybody, more importantly, be safe. Love your sports. Love your teams. Love your family. Namaste.
Holla.